The top 10 dog behavior problems more common. There are many behavioral problems that can affect our dogs. However, before starting to apply methods indiscriminately, it is necessary to reflect. We must know the causes, the types of problems that exist, or the different solutions. It is essential to make the right decision when it comes to treating them. What are the behavioral problems that dogs develop? The appearance of behavior problems in animals is frequent, and there are many causes that can cause them. Some owners even consider themselves guilty, when there are many factors that they are unaware of and that could have influenced. Genetics plays a huge role in a dog's behavior. Sometimes, it can be imposed on learning. 1. It is not surprising that a scary bitch has puppies with similar behavior, or that breeds that have suffered a lot of punishment, as is the case of the German Shepherd, have a certain tendency to fear. The stress during the bitch's pregnancy can also influence puppies. Another decisive factor is the puppy's socialization. It is a process that begins around 3 weeks and ends when the dog is 3 months old. During this period, the little one must learn everything necessary for his adult stage: the habits of dogs, canine language, tolerance, detachment. For this reason, separating a puppy quickly from its mother and siblings can cause various behavioral problems, since when the period closes, fears begin to appear. For this reason, at Experto Animal we always emphasize the importance of socializing a puppy. With the closure of socialization, the dog is susceptible to fear and even phobias. A bad experience, perhaps unnoticed for us, can provoke a real trauma in the animal, which later explains why it reacts to one stimulus or another. Top 10 dog behavior problems. Next we will explain the most common behavior problems in dogs. In this way, you will be able to identify what happens to your best friend and start working to remedy it. Fears of dogs, people, objects and environments. Fear is not exclusive to dogs that have suffered abuse. As we have previously explained, there are many causes that can cause fears and phobias. Lack of habituation is generally the most common cause. There are many different types of fear, from fear of people to fear of fireworks. Separation anxiety. Separation anxiety appears when the dog is home alone. Long barking, bowel movements and urination, destructiveness, crying, and scratching doors are common. It is a behavior problem that appears when the owner is not at home. Excitability. We talk about effusive behaviors that are not well received by us, for example, that the dog jumps on people, that he runs around throwing everything in his path, or that he constantly pushes a baby. They are too excitable behaviors and do not please the owners. Destructiveness and excessive bite in puppies. Many people affirm that they have a puppy with behavioral problems. However, destructiveness in puppies or suffering a painful bite are totally normal and acceptable situations. A puppy should never be reprimanded for it. It is vitally important to understand that they are in a very important stage, in which the discovery and experiences will affect their adult stage. Destructiveness in adult dogs. Destructiveness in adult dogs can reveal a problem related to stress or the 5 freedoms of animal welfare. A dog that enjoys a positive and healthy lifestyle, good health, exercise and mental stimulation and a lack of fear should not engage in destructive behavior. Aggression towards other dogs, cats or people. There are many different types of aggressiveness. Protection of resources. The dog protects an object, such as a bed or a bowl of food. It can also protect a living being. Aggressiveness due to fear, in the face of something that causes fear or if he does not know what is going to happen. Territorial aggressiveness. The dog reactively acts to scare off strangers from his territory. Predatory aggressiveness. The dog chases cars or children, for example, the aggressiveness between members of the same sex. Coprophagy. Coprophagy in dogs is common in puppies. It is a way of experimenting. Just like human babies do, little ones put everything in their mouths. However, it is not normal behavior in adult dogs. Urination and defecation at home. This is probably one of the main reasons for consulting canine educators and trainers. In an appropriate upbringing, it would be the mother who would teach her cubs to urinate outside the nest or home. In his absence, it is the owners who must teach him. If that fails, it can happen that even in its adult stage the dog continues to defecate and urinate at home. However, it is possible to learn how to teach a dog to relieve itself on the street. Intolerance to the manipulation or the use of certain objects. This problem is frequent in dogs that, suddenly, have been exposed to certain elements to which they were not accustomed. The lack of habituation causes the animal to use different forms of communication to remove the unpleasant stimulus. It can occur in dogs that do not allow themselves to brush their teeth, dogs that are not allowed to touch at all, or those that refuse to get into a vehicle. Again, this problem is directly related to socialization and early habituation. Abnormal behaviors. There are other behaviors that alert owners, such as stereotypes, repetitive and constant movements without an apparent purpose, the behavior of spoiled dogs that refuse food, or the various problems between dogs that may arise. Last but not least, it should be noted that if you have problems with your own dogs, there is probably a serious conflict between you. The misinterpretation of canine language, the use of aversives, repellent sprays, for example, punishment and other factors may be causing this gap between the two. How to correct the behavior of dogs? Sometimes access to the right information allows many owners to correct their dog's behavioral problems themselves. We generally talk about puppies' own behaviors, urination problems or milder fears. That is why many decide to learn more about canine language, ethology, or consult professional blogs and magazines. Learning about the nature of the dog, its high social and cognitive capacities can make us understand what is the mistake that is being made to carry out abnormal behaviors. It is also important to note that some pathologies, such as hypothyroidism, can alter the behavior of dogs. Precisely for this reason, when faced with a serious behavior problem, it is advisable to visit a veterinarian or an ethologist. Both are health professionals who can diagnose an illness, which explains misbehavior. But also, a ethologist will be able to guide you in behavior. If you have ruled out that your dog suffers pain or an illness that you could not identify with the naked eye, the next option will be to visit a professional to help you modify the behavior of the dog. Canine educators, trainers and ethologists can help you in this regard. We recommend you look for professionals with good references, open about their work and who do not apply punishment methods. Dog behavior problems. Have you been wanting to know more about behavioral problems in dogs? So get the best train the dog in the link down.